Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out something a little bit more serious. We're going to be checking out some videos on the recent Minneapolis school shooting. The reason you might be asking why we're checking this out is a YouTuber we watch quite frequently on the channel, Brandon Herrera. He was unfortunately named in the manifesto of the school shooter. For what reason exactly, I'm not too sure. I know he made a video responding to that yesterday. This video here that I have up currently was also uploaded yesterday. We are going to be checking them both out. I don't know a whole lot about the recent shooting. That is why I want to watch a news report on it, maybe get some more information about it. The information I do currently know, just off the top of my head, it happened basically, obviously at a school. I know a few children were killed, and I know it was between 15 and 20 other people besides that were injured. It was at a school, but I think it was actually a church too. I've heard it referred to as a church, so I don't know if it was maybe a Catholic school, to what degree that was. The firearms that the crime was committed with, I believe, were purchased legally. So that's interesting, of course. How did this person, that's clearly mentally deranged individual, get a hold of such firearms? You know, obviously we'll have to see into that a little bit more. These videos were both uploaded a day ago, as I said, so we're trying to go with the most recent information that we can go off of. And yeah, once I start this, we're gonna kind of just let the news report take the floor. We'll comment on it a bit after, and then we're gonna check out Herrera's statement that he made afterwards and see what that's about. Okay, if you guys enjoyed the reactions, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe for more content from me. Of course, leave recommendations down in the comments below. Without any further delay, guys, let's get right into this video. Captions should be on, quality 720, sick, full screen. Without any further delay, let's get it.
All of America is mourning this tragedy, including President Trump, who has ordered all flags to be flown at half-mast through Sunday. We go now to Lucas Tomlinson with the latest from the administration. Lucas.
Good morning, Ashley and Todd. The shooter was born Robert Westman, but changed his name to Robin 6 years ago. First Lady Melania Trump offering her condolences, writing, quote, "My heart is shattered for the families and friends of the victims of today's senseless and depraved violent act." The shooting began during a school-wide mass marking the beginning of the school year at around 8:30 local time yesterday morning. The shooter opened fire with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, all legally purchased weapons, according to police. 2 children ages 8 and 10 were killed. 17 others were wounded, including 14 children and 3 elderly individuals. Also, according to police, his mother previously worked at the school. FBI Director Kash Patel is calling this a hate crime, posting,
Good.
The FBI is investigating this shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. The FBI will continue to provide updates on our ongoing investigation with the public as we are able. Now, DHS Secretary...
And I am kind of glad they're doing that. Again, I don't know the full story yet, but I will say hate crimes against any religious group is obviously awful. But for some reason, hate crimes against Catholics tend to happen, and you know, people seem to care less because they're Catholics, seemingly. A hate crime is a hate crime, people. We need to start recognizing it when it does happen. Now, again, I don't know the entire circumstance here. We're obviously going to see what they have to say, the reasons why it would be considered a hate crime, of course. I know we said that the victim's mother, or the victim, the shooter's mother, previously worked at that school too. So let's keep watching.
Our ongoing investigation with the public as we are able. Now, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says the shooter at the Catholic school was a 23-year-old man claiming to be transgender. The words "for
claiming
the
children,
to be transgender,
"Where
is your God?" and "Kill Donald Trump" were written on a Rifle magazine. That's according to Kristi Noem. She also said,
clearly
quote,
a hate crime.
"Our deepest prayers are with the children, parents, families, educators, and Christians everywhere. We mourn with them, we pray for healing, and we will never forget them." Now, there have been 415 hostile acts against the church across the country this year.
Jesus.
There's also been a sharp rise in attacks on Christians over the past 7 years. Attacks have increased 730% since 2018. Now, the shooter fired through the windows of the church and did not enter the building. He later died by suicide. Ashley, Todd.
Lucas Tomlinson live for us. Lucas, thank you. In just a few hours, Minnesota officials are expected to give an update on the shooting as we learn more about the shooter and their motive.
The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All three had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube.
Interesting.
This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings.
The shooting happened in Hennepin County, where Rich Stanek served as the sheriff. He joins us now. Rich, thanks for getting up and talking to us about this. I wish it was on better terms here, but you know what makes me the most sick about all of this, when you think about it, are those two kids who lost their lives. Their parents were putting them to bed for the last time the night before he was filming this horrific and disturbing manifesto about what he was going to do the next day. And that does not sit well with me, and I know it doesn't sit well with other parents. Did you ever think that something like this would happen where you served as sheriff?
You know, there really aren't words that can describe what happened yesterday here in Minneapolis. I mean, reprehensible, cowardice, and honestly, the third one I can't even say on live TV. And talking with first responders who were at the scene, they said it was horrific and ghastly. Young kids, parents, the most vulnerable parts of our society.
Yeah, that's it.
Church service, young school-age children in school that first week celebrating together, and then you have something like this.
And that's just it too, right? Is what you have to consider, right? This wasn't like it was, you know, it wasn't like it took place at a community college. That's bad enough, right? This was the most vulnerable population demographic that he could target. Again, two of the victims that passed away as of right now, to my knowledge, 8 and 11 years old. That's extremely young. You know what I mean? That's grade school age. That's insane. And it just makes you think, you know what I mean? Like what kind of sick and twisted individual like goes out and does that, right? And these are legally purchased firearms. He's never committed a crime. She never's committed a crime. I don't know what's going on there, right? Some degree of mental illness, very, very clearly evident there, is what I will say. And again, I don't know what the manifesto said. Time to be released on YouTube. I'm guessing it never saw its day. Let's say it. It'd be interesting to see what's in that manifesto, but I'd have to assume it'd be a bunch of radical mumbo jumbo, which would probably give a pretty good insight on the mental state of the shooter here. So yeah, let's keep watching.
Celebrating together, and then you have something like this.
When you talk to your colleagues in law enforcement there on the ground in Minnesota, had any of them heard anything about this killer before? In other words, was she on anybody's radar?
You know, I mean, the investigation will tell what exactly was the true motive. You've heard the FBI say they're looking at it as a domestic act of terrorism. You've heard them say they're looking at it as a hate crime. He really didn't have much of a criminal history. May have been a graduate of the school. Still a lot of facts that need to be dug up and brought to light. But at this point, it really doesn't matter. The horrific incident happened. Children are dead. 17 others were, shot. And that's just one part of a series of tragic homicides in the city of Minneapolis in just 24 hours or less. There were 5 people killed, 4 different shootings. A mass shooting just less than 20 hours before this, 2 miles away from this elementary school out in front of a high school. And, we can do so much better as residents of Minneapolis, the public. Everybody wants to help. Some people don't know quite how to help, but just be supportive.
The age of this person is something that comes into question for me. 21, 23 years old. And I'm just wondering, can the parents be held accountable for anything that happened here, or is the age, since this person was over the age of 18, can they not be held accountable?
No, I think, again, the facts will come out.
I don't, again, listen, there's just some sick people out there. You know what I mean? That's all it is. I mean, you can sit there and maybe blame the parents. I don't know if the parents had anything to do with this. I don't know if he still lived at home. I don't know the extent of it, right? I need to know a little bit more information about it. But yeah, once again, there are just some sick people out there. One day you fucking break, you know what I mean? And that's not justifying it, but you know, I don't know if at 23 years of age, if you can be, if your parents can be held liable for what you go out of your way to do, especially something to this extent. Like that's kind of kind of crazy to try to put the blame on them for this to that extent, you know?
I think, again, you know, the facts will come out through the intense investigation by federal, state, local law enforcement. But it appears from what the Minneapolis police chief said that the guns were purchased illegally, not through a straw buyer, not something like that. But they're going to look at all those things. The fact of the matter is this suspect, if he was age 22, 23, is a legal adult here in Minnesota, in this country. And you know, it's just tragic how this came to this. I'm sure they're going to find mental health issues. They're going to find, you know, patterns of behavior that weren't quite right. The question is, who did what when they learned about it? Who did they talk to? Who did they report it to? I saw, like many of you, his manifesto posted online yesterday afternoon. You watched that, 11 minutes of it, like I saw, and you'll go, something is definitely wrong here. We can do so much better.
And to that point, Rich.
And I do wonder if that is still online. I'd be interested to see it myself. I haven't looked it up. I don't know anything about it.
Something is definitely wrong here. We can do so much better.
And to that point, Rich, Melania Trump speaking out following yesterday's horrific event, saying there needs to be some kind of preemptive intervention. And she's referring in large part to the mental health aspect of this. I'd like to focus on the law enforcement. I was listening to Trace Gallagher's show, and he had an individual, Aaron Cohen, on saying he's starting a program that basically has AI scouring the web for any possible warning signs. Would that help find and stop a potential killer like this well before they even think about doing something as horrific as this?
Well, law enforcement will tell you.
See, and then that's like the other thing is like that just starts to sound like some Big Brother society to me, and I'm not sure if that's the way we should be going with it, right? Again, these firearms were purchased legally, right? There was no reason why they should deny a sale to him, especially if he didn't commit a crime. Again, I do believe like there should be not strict mental screening, but you should definitely have some mental screening done to you beforehand before you're able to purchase a firearm. I don't really see anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? I think that would just be the natural step here. But again, I really don't know what you do about this. You know, that's the problem.
Something as horrific as this.
Well, law enforcement will tell you, the FBI will tell you that mental illness is a factor in many of these people who act out like this. And it's not the first time. This suspected shooter was not shy about using social media. As you know, he posted this and timed it so that it would be released after the shooting happened and maybe his death. I'm sure they're going to find a long trail of information about him and his motives. And again, why didn't somebody intervene? Why didn't somebody say something? We always find out afterwards. We do it kind of autopsy without blame, going back to an investigation to figure out why it happened, how it happened, who knew, and what can we do to do better, lessons learned. But it doesn't change the fact that these 2 young kids are dead, 17 others wounded. This community is in mourning. I was born and raised in this community. I spent 40 years as a police officer in the city of Minneapolis and Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. My colleagues who were at the scene, again, horrific and ghastly. No easy way to describe it.
And you, like Ashley said, we pray for the families, but you know, to this point about AI, there have to be some breadcrumbs that AI can work with law enforcement to find.
We've got technology coming out of our ears with everything else. I don't know why we can't do it with that.
Rich Stanek, thanks for your time.
You know, the technology is one part, folks, but you've also got to have in place something to do with it, something to react
There has
to
100%.
what you
People
find.
have to
And
be brought
that's the
to.
problem. It's an expensive proposition.
Well,
And,
we're wasting
you know,
millions of dollars whenever they're needing, for all these politicians who need all of this money for their elections and their campaigns. If we can garner up hundreds of millions of dollars for campaigns, for politicians, we can get money to get armed guards and to get what we need to protect these kids.
It's all that matters. Rich Stanek, got to leave it there.
Absolutely.
We got to run.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Rich.
your time, sir. Thank you. Best of luck to you and your community.
Thanks, guys.
We're praying.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what the right call for this type of thing is, right? I think if you start letting AI go free on everything, like what, you know what I mean? We've already seen kind of the extent of that in the UK, right? Like you're making a comment, you could even be making a joking comment, and next thing you know, you got police knocking on your door, arresting you, right? I don't think anybody in America nor Canada here wants that type of Big Brother type of atmosphere in their country, but it's an interesting point. What do you do about it? I don't know if there is a good solution for it outside of armed guards in schools at this point. I think that's probably the most logical choice at this point. You're never going to get rid of all firearms in America, and you're never going to be able to stop bad actors from getting those firearms, realistically speaking, with how many are in country. What is it, something like fucking 9 guns per person or something like that there are in the US? Like, it's never going to happen, right? So yeah, interesting proposition there. Now, again, I haven't read the manifesto myself. I haven't looked into it at all. But we are going to take a look at Herrera's video here as well. We're going to let Herrera talk. I know, again, he was named in the manifesto. I'm sure he's going to make reference to how he was named, what exactly that meant. Yeah, let's see what Herrera has to say here. Let's go from here. We're going to leave a like on this. Obviously, captions on. Quality 1440p, full screen. Without any further delay, let's get it.
This video is going to be a departure from the normal educational or funny content you're used to, because I have to address a very serious topic.
Yes.
I wasn't going to talk about this originally because I didn't really want to give any more attention to this topic than there needed to be. But after learning more about the situation and processing some things, I thought it was important that I speak up in my own words and clear some things up definitively. I will say that I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years now, and this is the first thing in my entire career that, speaking candidly, has kind of fucked me up. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, let me catch you up. On August 27th, at time of recording less than a day ago, a deranged, biologically male nut job tried to go end the lives of innocent children at a Catholic school mass. This is one of the most heinous and indefensible acts I can think of. Killing innocent children at their place of worship. He did end up taking the lives of a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, as well as injuring 17 others, predominantly, again, mostly innocent children. This is obviously horrific and a clearly targeted hate crime. But the reason I'm coming to you in this video is that I was specifically mentioned by name. In the psychotic ramblings that the shooter released before he went out to go do what he did, he specifically mentions me by full name several times, including a push to vote for Brandon for president. When I first found out about this, I did not want to believe that it was real.
Now, and again, this is, yeah, it's complete bullshit when people do this, right? Like, how many times have individuals or organizations, whatever they be, however fucked up they be, throw their lot in with one side or the other or a specific person? They do it for a reason, or they do it because they're mentally deranged, right? How many times have the KKK supported the Democratic Party, and then how many times have they supported the Republican Party, right? Things like that, right? The Black Panthers, things like this, right? It's the exact same fucking thing. You can't just allow association to fucking mean it all. It's very clear that he was trying to smear Brandon in this way. Yeah, that should be fucking very obvious to anyone, I think, right away.
And then I listened to the video, and when I heard it with my own 2 ears, I got fucking sick to my stomach. I'm going to go ahead and say it now, and I would like to think this goes without saying, but again, I want to leave zero fucking wiggle room for interpretation. I condemn every part of this to the deepest extent of my fucking soul.
Like, yeah.
It is unreal to think about this level of evil being carried out by somebody who even knows my fucking name. He goes on to say that apparently we met at SHOT Show in Las Vegas and that we talked and that we agreed on a lot of things, which I want to make abundantly clear right out the gate. I do not believe that that happened. Now, if you're unfamiliar, SHOT Show is one of the biggest weapons conventions in the world. It's industry only. It's not something the average person can really go to. Like, it's not as easy as just like showing up and buying tickets. Like, it's not a gun show. It's an industry trade show, and every year me and my friends will do like a meet and greet or something like that at booths of companies that we work with. Fans from the industry who are already there at SHOT Show come up and take pictures. It's very normal, and for the most part, the community is incredibly respectful. I meet hundreds, if not thousands, of people there every year, and I have no control over who these people are. But I can legitimately put my hand on a Bible and say, I have zero recollection of ever meeting this creep. I asked my friends who were also there, and they had no recollection of it.
And that's the thing too, right? Like, and what they were talking about, they could quote unquote agree about a bunch of things. I don't know if it's specified. They're probably just talking about normal shit, man. Like, again, a lot of like, you guys ever fucking listen? It's not funny, but you guys ever listen to the song "Stan" by Eminem? It's kind of the exact same thing. You listen to that song, you get in the head of how these people think. You know what I mean? And they fucking take it way too fucking far. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, I think, unfortunately.
Eating this creep. I asked my friends who were also there, and they had no recollection of it. And believe me, this is the kind of person that would stand out at SHOT Show. NSSF, the organization that runs SHOT Show, has actually released a statement as well, saying that they have no record of this person ever having attended SHOT Show. So right out the gate, the evidence points to this claim of having met and talked with me is likely made up. But ultimately, I can't prove that he met me. I also can't prove that he didn't. But God's honest truth is I don't
see how it matters either way, to be honest with you.
One thing for sure is I don't believe for a fucking moment there's a lot that me and this fucking psycho would agree on.
No.
He goes on to write a bunch of stuff about like killing Trump and mentions iDubbbz and Ethan Klein indirectly, bands that he liked, shit like that. And I obviously don't think they have anything to do with this either. It reminds me a lot of that Christchurch shooting where the shooter said, subscribe to PewDiePie before, on his stream, before going out and targeting that mosque. I remember feeling really bad for Pewds when that all went down. And I never thought in a million years it would happen to me. But
and that's just it. You can't fucking control what these sickos do. Like what these absolute psychopaths do. You can't control every single fucking person on the globe. And you can't control their words, right? It's not that easy. You can't just think, oh my God, this awful person said this, said something about this famous person. They must be in cahoots. That's very rarely how it works, right? They do it for fucking attention, I think. And I can't honestly think anyone's going to be looking at Herrera here and thinking, oh my God, like he was in on this. Like you'd have to be some sick fuck to actually think that. You know what I mean? You'd actually have to be deranged yourself to believe that.
When that all went down, and I never thought in a million years it would happen to me. But here we are.
Yeah.
Now, there's all sorts of theories on the internet. One of them is that this was somebody who was clearly left-leaning, who was attempting to slander me, intentionally damage my reputation. But to be honest, there's no fucking way to tell. You also may have noticed I have not said this fucker's name in this entire video.
Nope.
I've already made it a personal point. I have not said that name, and I will never say that fucking name. I refuse to make these pieces of shit famous, and I really wish the media would follow suit. And on that note, that's actually the last of the attention I'm going to be giving to this deranged piece of shit's words, because I have something far more important to talk about, which is how we can together help the people that he hurt. I've seen firsthand how communities can be rocked by something like this, and I've already personally committed to helping, and I'm hoping that I can help leverage my audience, you guys, so that together we can be a force for good, to help the families, the school, and everybody affected. Because at the end of the day, I believe that you all out there watching this video are good. I believe that we're a force for good. And I invite you to join me in not letting the actions of some deranged psycho stop us from doing good. I'm working with some people in law enforcement right now at time of recording to figure out the best places that we can help support these communities to where the help and the funds that we send them actually go to the places they need to go. So when I figure that out, links will be in the description, and that is where I will be personally donating as well. Aside from the physical, tangible, or financial help, I also recommend you keep these people in your prayers. And if that's not your thing, at least just keep them in mind or reach out and let the community know that you support them. I wish we were talking about anything else today, but I take some solace in the fact that despite this terrible tragedy, we're able to use this as an opportunity to do good and try to help those who really need it right now.
Right.
So that's it. I just wanted to clarify those things, make sure there was no room for interpretation. I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, sorry. That was a more serious topic for sure. And again, I don't think you can blame Herrera for any of this, just what happened. You know, again, I think you'd have to be psychotic to some degree to think that he actually had anything to do with this or genuinely supported him in any way. He mentioned the PewDiePie shooting as well. Not PewDiePie shooting, the shooter that mentioned PewDiePie as well. It's no different. It's the same situation there. And as I mentioned before too, it's no different than like an organization stating that they're for one party or another. They do it on purpose, right? They know what they're doing. They're doing it for attention, right? It's the same situation. And again, I recommend go and listen to the song "Stan" by Eminem. Fucking that'll kind of like give you a mindset of these fucking like these people right now. In the case of Stan, that's more of like a hyper fan kind of thing. This guy was doing it, I think, definitely for attention, definitely to get some type of message across for sure, and probably because he hated maybe going to that school, maybe what the school taught Catholics in general. It definitely was a hate crime. Again, who knows what was going on inside his head. We're gonna have to wait and see until more information is revealed. If you guys enjoyed the reactions, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe for more content from me. Of course, leave your recommendations down in the comments below. And yeah, big thank you to all of our members. And without any further delay, guys, this has been Centurion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.